Hi there, welcome to Burning Waters of the Moon Tarot. My name is Desiree. In this video, I'm doing a shadow reading for Aquarius. And for this series, I've been using three decks. This deck is the Goliath Tarot deck by Goliath. And then this one is the True Black Tarot by Arthur Wang. And then I been using this Oracle deck, the Medicine Woman Oracle deck. And with the hopes that it will shed some light on maybe a direction to head or just give a little bit of extra information or help in regards to the shadow reading. So let me light this candle really quickly. Oopsie, oh no, that's my owl. I had hoped to get all of these readings done this past weekend, but I was extremely busy in my Pentacles life. I am a bookkeeper, and so the beginning of the month is a little bit strenuous for me, being that I've got to close the previous month, and then I've got financials that are due. So I had a lot on my plate, and in addition to helping out my daughters. So, and then my husband went out of town, so I had a whole weekend of busyness, of being the one. So now that I've closed the month, I've got the kids at school. Well, actually, my youngest daughter's homesick, poor thing. But anyway, I'm going to get the rest of the readings done today, and then I'll start a new series at the end of the week. So I'm hoping to get on a some sort of schedule as soon as I get into the groove of making videos and fitting it into what's already going on in my life. So I'm still getting the hang of it, y'all. So be patient with me. Okay, so Aquarius, if for any reason this reading is not resonating with you, try your rising sign or your moon sign. I'm going to use this deck first. And try that, watch that video. You can also try Sidereal Astrology, in which your sun, moon, rising, all that is going to be different, usually a sign off. They use the true sky, where the constellations truly are, and the true size of the constellations as well. So Scorpio is a small constellation, while Virgo is a pretty big one. If you need some information on all of those, I do have a little playlist called Astrology, and it has some Astrology 101 things, the meaning of the planets, meaning of the houses. And then sometimes too, when dealing with the shadow, it's kind of hard for us to even see that there is an issue, because it's so well hidden, or just, way deep down, and it's hard for us to even realize what's happening. So if you can at least maybe even just find a tidbit, and it can just give you just a little spark, that we'll consider that a win. Because working with the shadow does take time. It's not a quick fix. There's not a one size fits all, and it's tough. It's really tough. So I've been there, and I'm still there, still working on lots of my stuff too. Okay, Aquarius, let's see what we have for you. The Fool in reverse, Major Arcana card. Oh, another Major Arcana. We have the Star, and then we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay, so two Major Arcana cards, and then we have a Court card in the suit of air. The Fool is Uranus energy, which is kind of like air as well. And the Fool speaks of sort of, I don't want to say recklessness, but just that young, sort of naive energy, that energy that you need to go out into the world because you haven't quite been jaded as an adult. It's full of curiosity and just the world is at your fingertips. That kind of energy, that kind of feeling. That's what the Fool is. And with it being in reverse, it's almost, it's kind of like maybe it is a little bit of recklessness, some kind of maybe you need to maybe consult a more experienced person. But then we do have the Star here, which is kind of like that more experience, right? That the Star is like a guiding card. It's a actually the subtitle to this card is the Cosmic Guide. And this is sort of like a goal that we set for ourselves, and it's a direction that we want to head our life in. And so while this kind of speaks of maybe some caught up energy, maybe a little bit of negative energy, I'm seeing that this is a positive. This is a good thing. So so perhaps you're in sort of, or were in sort of a reckless type of situation, but perhaps you've kind of have it, you kind of have your goal set, you kind of have your trajectory set out, your path is set out for you. And then we have the Knight of Swords in reverse here. Now this is a really interesting card. The subtitle to this card is the Hooded Brother, and all the knights are fire energy. There are active energy of the courts, and so they initiate things. And being a in the swords, he is a very good thinker, but sometimes he can act without thinking. Sometimes, well, not without thinking. Sometimes he acts very he acts on a dime. Like he's able to make a quick decision and decide on it and get moving and going here. So he's like a snake strike, right? He's like that snake that's like doing that little dance and maybe feeling you out a little bit, and then all of a sudden, less than a split second later, he's fanging you. And then we're seeing here that these meerkats, I think they're meerkats, I don't know, their ears are kind of long and floppy. Anyway, he has these guys in sort of like a trance. And so this poor guy down here looks really worried, and this guy kind of just looks blissful. But nonetheless, they're all paying attention to him. So perhaps he's using his words, his way of communication, his way of bringing people together, but he has them in a trance, okay? And with this energy being in reverse, I'm feeling like perhaps these two cards are really speaking to me here. They're speaking to me of the same energy. Perhaps you're not quite thinking something out in regards to your trajectory. And you know, and that can be the case, that sometimes we set a goal for ourselves that might be a little too lofty. It might be just a little too much. It might not, we might not have the resources that we need to even get close to that goal. Not saying that you can't and eventually you won't get there, but we don't want to set our goals that are too high and that we don't get at least some kind of reward or some kind of a win. You know, we don't want to set out to be a CEO by the time we're 25. Not saying it can't happen, but we've got to be real cognizant on what we set our sights on. So let's use the True Black Tarot to dive a little bit deeper into these cards. These cards just don't slide well. I do love the finish. It's nice and suede. It's got a nice suede finish, but when shuffling, it's just kind of, it's hard to bring them together. Okay. All right, and you know, the subtitle to the Fool card over there is The Eternal Vagabond. And that's one of the things I like about Goliath's deck, is that he put little subtitles to the titles of the cards, to the names of the cards. And it kind of gives a clue as to how to read it, especially when you're a beginner and you don't quite remember all the meanings of the cards. And then his guidebook is so robust. He goes into the reason, his artwork, what the artwork means to him. He even puts a little bit of his personal experiences within the cards, and it's just an all-around great deck to work with. The energy feels good, and he did make this deck as a shadow deck. That's why he created it, to help with the shadow, help illuminate. Okay, so let's see what we have for you, Aquarius, with this Fool in reverse. We've got the Page of Cups in reverse. Okay, some young energy, water energy. Then we've got the Emperor. I'm sorry, the Page of Cup is not in reverse. The Page of Cup is upright. And then we've got the Emperor in reverse. So Major Arcana card. And the Ace of Pentacles is not in reverse. So yes, I do feel that this card is showing a little bit of recklessness, especially here with this page and the Emperor being in reverse. The Emperor, number 4, he is about structure. He's about control. He's a masculine card, so he's a big doer, you know. He wants to, he's kind of like that catalyst. He's like a knight in a way, but he's more about the structure of things. And with him being in reverse, something is just not, it doesn't have that foundation that is necessary. And what I'm seeing here with the page as well are the pages are all very young energy within the court cards, and he is he's a water card as well. So perhaps your emotions kind of got the better of you, or they're getting the better of you, and so you're acting a little impulsively. We do have this Ace of Pentacles, though, which is good, which means there's some resources available to you. However, with these these 3 cards here, I'm feeling like maybe you're not putting these resources to their best and most useful use. Perhaps there's a wasting of resources, but they are available. So I don't want to say that they're being wasted. I just want to say perhaps they're available, they're there, but you're not using them the way that you can be, and you're not using them as efficiently as you can. So let's read the star, Aquarius. Okay, so we've got the 9 of Swords in reverse. And it's interesting, we got a bunny here that's being stabbed, and then this bunny is up here on the page's shoulder. I don't know if we can make that out, but there's a bunny on the shoulder. And then that bunny's not on the shoulder. I am happy that there's rose petals coming out instead of, you know, a spurt. Okay, okay, and then we've got the 5 of Cups in reverse, some water energy. This is air. And then the Tower. My. Okay, so, you know, when the Tower, this is our Major Arcana energy here. And we do have lots of Major Arcanas. And, yeah, and kind of what I'm seeing here with this Tower card. So the Tower is, I call this my cleaning house card. That's the nicest way to put it. That's getting rid of things that we don't need, things that are in our life that are not serving us. And that can be emotions, that can be relationships, that can be a job, that can be anything that is in our life that we are using, that we are allowing in our space, that is, it's just not, it's not serving us. It's either, you know, it's draining us, or it's causing us to make bad decisions. It's causing some health issues. It can be pretty much anything. And when this card pops up, it's telling us there needs to be a change. We've got to clean house, basically. So something's got to break down. But with that breaking down leaves room for more growth, for new growth. So I use the analogy of a tree. We have this big tree with a nice full canopy, but that big canopy is not allowing any sunlight to get to the ground. So, you know, a lot of things can't grow underneath this tree. But once the tree has reached its life maximum and is no longer able to continue to live, it dies. But now that space is clear, and now that space is getting sunlight, and now other things can grow, more trees, or a bush, or flowers. And so with every kind of death or ending, there is a rebirth, something new can come up. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing here for this guiding light that you've set for yourself, this goal that you've perhaps set for yourself. And I do see there is some kind of emotional attachment here. Perhaps you made the decision based on some kind of relationship, some kind of emotional... I have my window open. That was an airplane passing by. And it wasn't, and it definitely, I don't think it was, definitely, I don't think it wasn't a good, emotional situation for you to be in, because it caused you some loss. It caused you some heartbreak. All of these cups here are all cracked, and this one's broken. This one, the water is just pouring out. But then we do have this cup over here, which is full. This symbolizes hope, you know, that, you know, this is still you, even though all of this has happened. You don't want to let go of the essence of yourself, and you don't want to let go of the lesson as well that you have learned in here. And you don't want this to jade you either. And so while you do have this heartbreak, of course, comes that time where it's on our mind, and it's causing us anxiety and lots of pain. You know, this is the nightmare card. This is you know, being awake at night and just having things replay in our heads, and it's, you know, it can drive one person up the wall, as my mom would say. So I do see, Aquarius, that this goal that you have set for yourself may have just been maybe just a little too much. Maybe you just, you know, you bit off a little bit more than you can chew, or you just weren't quite ready to make this decision, or to set this for yourself. So let's check out the Knight of Swords card over here. I'm gonna flip 3 more cards for you, Aquarius. Okay, so this is the Destiny card, which is also known as the Wheel of Fortune. Actually, Arthur Wang renamed the Wheel of Fortune Destiny card, and I love this card. We'll talk about it in a moment, because that's our major arcana. Then we have the Six of I always want to say rods, the Six of Wands. This is in reverse. Oh, obviously the Destiny, I don't know if you guys can see very well. The Destiny card's in reverse too. And then another major arcana card, the Strength is in reverse as well. So we've got 2 major arcana cards here. we've got Destiny, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and this card is wonderfully done as well. We've got this figure here, four-armed figure, who is basically weaving the threads of destiny. When I see this card, I always feel just a sense that the world just keeps on turning, you know, and your things that happen to us are meant to happen. They're learning moments for us. They're things that we can put in our tool belt. And if we don't learn from it, you know, the wheel keeps on turning, and it happens again and again and again until we get that lesson. But that's the way it is with everything, you know. That's what I'm telling my daughter about algebra. You know, you've got to keep practicing. You've got to keep doing it. You can't just look at it and say, okay, this, you know, this equation and blah, blah, blah. You know, you've got to practice. You've got to work at it. And the more you work at it, the better you're going to get. And that's what I feel about this card here, is that though we have all these trials and tribulations, that is what life is, and we are meant to go through that. And it's nothing personal. You're not a bad person. People don't hate you, but it's more that it's a way to show you a better way. And with this being in reverse, I'm feeling that perhaps you haven't quite learned that lesson. And here with the Strength card as well, this card's in reverse for you too, Aquarius. This is about inner strength, you know. This is about what we, it's a Leo card, so, you know, if you think about a lion, and it's interesting that we have a lion down here, and he's in reverse too. So I'm kind of just feeling that you're not having that inner self-confidence, that inner fire, that maybe even that desire for yourself, and perhaps you just you don't feel deserving. Is that maybe what it is? I don't know. I don't exactly know, but I just feel that that inner fire, that inner glow about you is somehow blocked. With this card here. Oh no, was this card in reverse? I don't think so. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. Shoot, now I can't remember. I feel like it was in reverse. I'm gonna have to go back and look. But this card, it is about overcoming things. This lion in this card overcame this safari hunter, you know, and this knife that's being stabbed into the ground is kind of like the conflict is over, you know, the fight is over, I've won. And that's also what this card, the Six of Wands, means. It's like a victory card. It's that homecoming after you've won. It's that inner sense of accomplishment, that inner sense of I did this. I'm fabulous, you know. And you can just kind of see that he's radiating, you know, this fairy dust. No, not fairy dust. He's radiating like I like just that inner spark that he has. It cannot be contained with him anymore. It's now just seeping out of his pores because he's that fabulous. And I do want to say that this entire column here was reversed for you, Aquarius. Oh darn, I don't know. Either way, whether it was reversed or not, the big players in this are these guys here, and these guys are telling me that that you haven't quite learned the lesson, that you're still working it out within your inner self, and your inner self doesn't quite know how fabulous you are. You are you're great. You're amazing. Everybody is amazing in their own right, you know, and it's just up to us to figure out what that amazingness is, and then to begin to appreciate and love that amazingness within ourselves. So, and then how it deals with this Knight of Swords in reverse. I'm thinking that perhaps your inability to see your inner light and to appreciate your inner light is, and I can see how that would have happened. Like perhaps you made a mistake and perhaps you're having a hard time getting over this mistake, okay? And so now you're feeling a little down on yourself. And I think that that is clouding the ability for you to act and make decisions now. And so you just don't have that self-confidence now. And this kind of begs me to, and I feel like this was in another reading as well, where it's like your self-confidence is shot, and you kind of don't want to get up and try again because you know, you're afraid. And so when we're afraid to do something, you know, acting in spite of being afraid is bravery, right? But there's something deeper within that, when we don't want to try again, and it's because maybe we don't want to lose again, or maybe we just we think we go back to our childhood when perhaps we thought we did such a good job and we showed somebody, we're like, hey, look at this drawing that I did, and somebody was like, what is that, you know? And you were so proud of it, but then you didn't get that external validation that you were seeking. So going forward, it's that you kind of tuck that away into your psyche, and going forward, whenever you have to do something or present yourself in a way where you're exposed a little bit, you're hesitant because you don't want to be rejected. And I'm kind of getting that feeling here as well, that you made a mistake and you're just so afraid to making a mistake again. Your self-confidence is kind of at a lower level than what it needs to be. But you've got to but just remember, you're amazing. You're fabulous. We're all fabulous. We all have it within us to be great. And in order to overcome that shadow part of ourselves, I think you need to go deep inside and revisit a time when you were disappointed, or when you weren't given the appreciation that you thought you deserved, and give that little person a hug and say, you know what, you're amazing. That is a great drawing. You know, you should do some more. Why don't you do one for me, and I'll buy it from you. You know, have a little dialogue with that little person, and recreate that situation. And so that it's no longer a bad memory, and that little person, you know, instead of hiding in the box, that person can smile, and then that smile can begin to radiate from the inside, and then you can get your fire back. You can get that self-confidence back that you need, Aquarius. I left this upright for you because I think you deserve that. So let's go ahead and draw a card, an oracle card, Aquarius. Now this is a little bit of a feminine deck. I know there are some masculine people out there, and sometimes it's kind of hard to relate to femininity, but we all have femininity in us, and you know, especially when dealing with the shadow, we need some of that soft energy, because we don't want to kick the shadow and say, get over it, dude. we want to love the shadow. We want to give it some of that water, that receptive, that feminine energy that it needed way back when, that it didn't get. So so let's go ahead and draw a card for you, Aquarius, and let's see what we have. So we've got the grounding card. And this is card number 29. And then the subtitle is Being Well Grounded Provides a Feeling of Security. So I'm going to read what this card means out of the book. And these cards are separated into categories by color. So this is a red color, and this category is titled Medicine Action Cards. So 29. So the message is, we are like majestic trees in a sacred forest. When we are well grounded, we gracefully lift our branches towards the sky to receive information, and we take care of ourselves and our community. We preserve the memories of the past and witness our own destiny. Good grounding gives the feeling of being in your rightful place, and it makes it possible to bring your projects and dreams for the future to life. Because we are manhandled by our lifestyles without a powerful and fertile inner world, we live off the ground. It can be difficult for us to set boundaries, bringing a feeling of insecurity. Wow, you know, that kind of fits into what the reading is, I feel. Perhaps you did get a little bit ungrounded by setting this lofty goal, and perhaps it was it was just a hasty action for you, but I do see you have the resources to do something like this. However, these feelings of insecurity, or this relationship, whatever it was that kind of threw you off your game, it just needs to be rethought. You've got to go over it. Just break it down and just begin the rebuilding process. Because I do see that you are just a little bit insecure, but once you become grounded again, I think you'll be able to set your sights really high on this star, and you can come from a place of strength. You can come from a place of you can come from a place of strength where you can begin to rebuild anew. Okay, Aquarius, that's what I have for you. Go be this lion here. You can do it, and give that little self a hug, because we all make mistakes, and nobody is perfect, and sometimes we are our harshest critics, but it's up to us to pick ourselves up and just, keep on keeping on. So, I should share, I'll tell you some ways you can get grounded. Binaural beats have been a healing thing for me. I also, too, I do some actual grounding, which I go outside and barefoot, and I'll sit under my tree outside in the backyard, or I'll just go and just kind of walk around the backyard and just feel the earth, and I'll what's that when you have a mind picture? I'll picture in my mind red energy coming up from the earth up my feet, up my legs, into my body, and just enveloping me. And then I watch it go back down, and then I visualize green energy coming up and going back down. And then it's just like a kaleidoscope of colors, and then I just kind of get almost in a trance-like state, just visualizing that energy just kind of flowing through me. Another good thing is getting on your hands and knees and putting your palms down onto the ground as well, and doing the same kind of visualization. Usually when I get out of Temescal and I'm just kind of like that, I need some grounding. I can't stand. I have to get on my hands and knees, and I've got to feel the ground, and sometimes that works better than just standing too, especially when you can't stand. Other good grounding techniques. Smoke is also a good thing too. A lot of people like to use sage. I like copal, and I also like palo santo. That's what I use. a lot. Those are some good grounding things. And also dark black colored crystals. This is shungite, and I've got hematite over here as well. And then this is some why can't I think of? It's that volcanic rock. I've got that in here. I've got some of that too. And then there's one more that I like, onyx. Onyx is another good one as well. So those really dark ones, red, also red jasper works. To me, this is a grounding stone. It's calcite. And I like this stone as well. It's very, very grounding for me. I'm not sure if that's listed as one of the grounding stones, but I do work with this as well too. I keep it, especially when I'm doing readings. I've got to keep these stones around me. It makes me feel safe. Okay, Aquarius, I've gone on long enough. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. And thank you for watching. Bye.